Welcome back to The Person That Everyone Needs. I'm your host, Webb Hoggard. Today, we're going to continue our series talking about who we are. We're talking about being whole, a whole person, someone who's complete, someone who is at peace, someone who has shalom about them. And so last week, we were focusing on our identity. Who does God say that you are? Such an important question. You need to take time and really think that through. It's the place I go when I'm the most stressed that helps unify me and form my understanding of what God wants me to do next. I told you that I say with my boys every night, be strong, be courageous, be wise, be kind, be steadfast. And that kind of informs the next level of being whole is moving from identity to understanding destiny. Identity, you need to remind yourself that you're a man of favor. But destiny, you need to remind yourself that you're a man of valor. There's nothing you can't accomplish through the power of God. There's nothing you can't endure, nothing that you can't persevere. God can give you what you need to endure all of it. If the first question is, who does God say that I am? The second question is, what am I made of? What am I made of? It reminds me of Joshua, who takes over the people of Israel as they're heading into the promised land. Moses hands the whole thing over to him, perhaps 3 million people that Joshua now has to lead. And he was basically Moses' armor bearer for that entire time. But now it's time for Joshua to lead. And Moses tells Joshua, be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you. Then the people say, be strong and courageous, Joshua, for the Lord your God is with you. And then God says, be strong and courageous, Joshua. Do not be discouraged, do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God will walk with you all the days of your life. And over again, he reminds him, do not be afraid, be strong and be courageous. Go in. And I believe it's 8 times it shows up in that short little bit of time that they're telling Joshua to be strong and courageous, which hopefully Joshua heard it, and he was strong and courageous. So as I was studying this idea, I've listened to that for a long time because I feel like I grew up being told to be timid, be quiet, make yourself smaller, don't walk in a room and take over and all that kind of stuff. But all the scriptures I find, God wants us to be fruitful and multiply. He wants us to be strong and courageous. He wants us to be vigilant, sober-minded, ready at a moment's notice. He wants us to take heart, which is Jesus' way of saying have courage. I mean, over and over again, we're told, man up, not slow down. Stand strong, not sit down. As I went to study this, when I was looking through the information about Jonathan and identity, destiny, and all that kind of stuff, I learned one thing, strong. Be strong means able, skilled, able to attack, being mindful or being understood and how to train, and so that you can have what you need to win every single battle. So it's about strength. It's about skill. It's about being able to do it. Courage, on the other hand, is about bravery. It's about being willing to enter into the fight. It's valor. It's having the heart to do it. So I know you've all seen it. I'm a football and a basketball fan. I love watching that. But you could tell the difference between someone who is skilled and someone who is courageous or has the heart to win every single time. Recently, Tom Brady has retired. And one thing, I've never been a Brady fan, but I'll say one thing about Tom Brady is he is never out of the game. His heart, the tenacity that he has, the courage that he has, no matter how far down they are or how many times that he was the underdog, Tom Brady always had the heart to win the game. He reminds me of Tim Tebow, who was one of my favorite football players ever. Tim didn't have the talent perhaps, but Tim Tebow, I loved watching him because despite not knowing whether or not he was going to have a high percentage of passes made or whatever, you are never out of a game. That man is a winner. I like courageous people, but I also like strong people. I personally think the most skilled quarterback in history, and I'm talking about leadership, intellect, good arm, knowing how to read the defense, all that, I believe is Peyton Manning. He's probably my favorite quarterback in history. But Peyton did not have the dead eye that Tom Brady has. I also used to watch NASCAR, and my favorite racer there was named Mark Martin. And Mark Martin was just impressive how he could be second place almost every single Sunday, and at the end of every single year. He was never a champion. He was always second. And he was a very skilled racer. I mean, second place out of 43, that's really impressive over and over again. But Mark he never had the killer instinct as like Dale Earnhardt or Richard Petty or even Jeff Gordon, even though I hate to say that, or Jimmy Johnson. Like these guys, there's something extra in their heart that when the game is on the line, they go for it. That's the difference, in my opinion, of LeBron and Michael Jordan. If you were to have Michael Jordan and LeBron play one-on-one, without doubt, LeBron would trounce Michael Jordan. But if I'm making a team, that's just a personal opinion. All right, don't cut off the podcast just because I said that. But if I was going to start a team, I'd want Michael Jordan. Why? Because he was all heart. You were never out of the game so long as he was there. So my encouragement to you is the word courageous, C-O-U-R, the beginning of that, it just means heart. It literally means having the heart to do something. So it doesn't matter how skilled your arm is. If you don't have the heart, the mind of a winner, you may not be a winner. In fact, I would have to say that we see a lot more people with the heart to winning than the people who are skilled to win. There's a lot of skilled people that never win a championship, that never win MVP, that never make it. So those two things together are huge. Where's your heart and where's your skill level? You need to, in the story of Jonathan, we talked about how Jonathan took that hill and he began to deal with those things that were in front of him, and the armor bearer dealt with those things behind. Well, as you look at your past, as you look those things behind you, where are the areas that you are most confident in, that you were most ready for? Where are the areas that you were the strongest? Everybody has something to offer. Everybody has something that everybody else needs. Your community needs you to be as strong as you possibly can be. Yes, we need your identity formed. We need you to be confident in who you are, but we also need you to contribute. We need you to do something. The reason you're on this earth is because God has a good work for you to do. It reminds me of the word, the New Testament Greek word koinonia, okay? Koinonia means fellowship. It means the connection that you have in church. My definition of it, if you were going to ask me, I would say koinonia is the consistent contribution that creates community. Consistent contribution creates community, which means every one of you has something to contribute. Someone, it has a voice to sing, has an instrument to play, can open a door to greet somebody, can set up the church, or maybe in the community, your skills in the area of sales or your skills as an electrician or a plumber, you can serve your community with joy, with integrity. You can do that. Service doesn't mean it's for free. Service just means you did it in integrity with the best that you could. And so what are you contributing? What are you contributing to your community? What are you contributing to your church? What are you contributing to your family? Are you investing in relationships you need for another season? Are you doing all that you can today to make sure that the community you live in is going to be better off because of your contribution? Are you spending your life thinking about yourself, or are you doing what you know you're made of to help everyone around you? That's what good leaders do. Tom Brady made everyone around him better. Peyton Manning made everyone around him better. Michael Jordan made those around him better when he finally made that turn. It's very important that people who know who they are, who God has said they are, they now know what they're made of, and they do everything they can to make everyone around them better. They're fully skilled in their arms and in their mind, but they're also full of heart, and they're going to win. They're going to go all the way to the end, no matter what. They're going to take the hill. They're going to take ground. They're going to do exactly what God has called them to do without shrinking back. And they can do that because they know God is going to be with them. God will never leave them nor forsake them. God walks with you. So what are you preparing for right now? Preparation is the attitude of life. If you're not growing, you're dying. So preparation is the attitude of life. What are you preparing for? What are you sharpening your skills for? What do you need to remind yourself that when the battle shows itself, you are going to be ready? My encouragement to you today is wherever you're at, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever the opportunity before you today is, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your heart. Do it not as unto men, but do it as unto the Lord, and do it with all that you have. Because the skill you learn today might be the very skill you need in the battle ahead. Don't give up. Be brave. Be courageous. Be a man of valor. God is with you, and his power will be on display in the midst of the battle if you have done what you have to now. As I close, I want you to understand you cannot be who you want to be in the next season if you're not who you need to be now. Being strong and courageous takes preparation. What battle do you know might come? If your destiny comes true, what is the moment that might show itself that if you haven't prepared for it, you can't step into it? I encourage you today, know who you are and know what you're made of. Because when the battle shows itself, I want you to be ready. This is the person that everyone needs. We'll see you next time as we unpack legacy, identity, destiny, and legacy.